Ladies all around the world, listen up. We're looking for you. The time has come to be unstoppable together. The danger of executive women is worrying we're not enough, obsessed with perfection and failing to perform. You're in the right place. It's now time to be unstoppable together with Connie Fife. She was the director of the United States Chamber of Commerce and CEO of Girl Scouts USA. Sit down, squat down, or lie down. It's time for Up or Out, all business with Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva and chair of the Fife Group, helping women in leadership achieve excellence and be unstoppable together.
Hello, this is Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva, and you're listening to Up or Out with Connie. We can be heard on iHeartRadio, iTunes, SiriusXM, the C-Suite Network, and over 1,900 global networks in 145 countries. Be sure to subscribe with us on iTunes because you don't want to miss any of the good stuff. So do you need some expert advice on how to move up or out? Well, be certain to head on over to Facebook and join our Facebook group, Up or Out Network. It's a private Facebook group, but we share information each and every day about how you can grow, sustain, and build your business. And information is for C-suite executives, also for entrepreneurial leaders. And if there's a topic that you'd like to hear about or a guest that you'd like to recommend, send us a message. Send it over to tfife@fifegroup.com. We love hearing from our listeners. Now, on to the show. So do you have a desire to move up or out and be heard in the boardroom? Or maybe you're ready to go out and become an entrepreneur and you just not quite sure what that looks like. Is it a franchise business? Is it a business that you start yourself from the ground up? A lot of that we're going to be finding out today in today's show, because we are here with the leader, a #1 CEO in the franchise industry. And we have that all right here for you. So here's my quote for today. Today is your day for being awesome. It's a day to be awesome. So remember that as you're working and planning throughout your day to be awesome, because we want to be awesome with you. So with that being said, we need to take a really quick sponsor break, and we will be right back because, hey, they're paying the bills. So we need to hear from them. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Connie Fife, your unstoppable diva, your host of Up or Out with Connie. I am thrilled to be a headline show on C-Suite Network, where you can grow your brand, grow your tribe, and be unstoppable. We are the hottest podcast for entrepreneurs, C-level executives, and market leaders. And you can hear me each week right here on the C-Suite Network. Also on Conscious Business Network, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM, and over 900 stations around the globe. Be sure to follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for listening. Be bold, be connected, and be unstoppable. And we're back, and you're listening to Up or Out with Connie, and it is time to turn up the volume because we have an amazing guest here with us today. I met her recently at a C-Suite event in Dallas, Texas, and I was just inspired by this woman. She is a CEO of a major corporation. And let me just really quick introduce a little bit more to you about her. She is definitely what I call today's unstoppable guest. She is the CEO of the largest sign and visual communication franchisors in North America, FASTSIGNS. 25 years of franchising and management experience. She has received the International Franchise Association Bonny LeVine Award for her contribution to the growth in the franchise industry. She's also received an award for the International Franchise Association's First Franchise Action Network FAN of the Year. She's a top woman industry leader in the Dallas Metroplex. She has been on Undercover Boss, learning from her franchisees on how to advance the franchise brand. Now, that's an awesome CEO for you. In 2006, she was selected as the Soderstrom Society Inductee for
Perfect.
contributions to the printing and graphic communications industry, and also honored with the 2016 Leadership Award from the Women That Soar organization. And she serves on the board of directors for IFA and many, many other boards, and sharing her learning experience and also so many things around the fast science industry. Let me just welcome to the show Catherine Monson. Catherine, how are you today?
Connie, thank you so much for having me. I am doing great. In fact, I'm doing awesome. How could you not be when you're listening to your show, Up and Out with Connie?
Well, I love that. And you're going to laugh. I'm already losing my voice because I've been interviewed by 2 other shows already this morning.
Well, so, congratulations on that. That's a huge honor for you.
Thank you. And a little bit of kudos to my team. We've launched a Women Who Dare program, and it has just been phenomenal. And our distribution partners have grown tremendously. This week I'm speaking with the Today Show about doing a segment there, and then we're already in production to do online television. So it's just been incredible, the amount of interest we have from women executives that want to be part of this program, want to connect with us. But let's talk about you today. And again, when I met you, I was just inspired by you. First of all, our panel, as you saw in Dallas, there were very few women, but the women that were there, they have such power, such inspiration to other people. And you talk about positive attitude, positive mental attitude. So how do you keep that every day going, every single day with all that you are doing, all that you're accomplishing?
Well, I really think that comes down to choice. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I had to learn through, if you will, the school of hard knocks that I'm responsible for my attitude. I'm responsible for my own happiness. Enthusiastic and upbeat people are far more successful than sullen and downtrodden people.
Yes.
I have every excuse in the world if I want to play the victim. I grew up in an abusive alcoholic home. I had a wretched childhood. And there are lots of folks that do that, go through that a similar experience, and then feel victimized the rest of their life. And yes, I got some good therapy. And for anybody who grew up in an alcoholic home, I would recommend that you get therapy from someone who specializes with adult children of alcoholics. But even through all of that, what I learned is it's my decision to have a positive mental attitude. And that's something that's created. I'm a big believer in all that Zig Ziglar taught. And Zig once said that he believes that motivation is like bathing. It's best to be done every single day. Yes. So I make sure that I'm feeding my mind positive messages. I subscribe to every positive quote email thing you can get. So I'm getting many positive quotes every day that I filter in and think, and those that capture my essence or really move me, I put in a folder called positive quotes. We've got a big hall here at the office called Inspiration Hall, full of over 100 quotes about positive mental attitude, goal-directed behavior, self-motivation, never stopping learning. And that happens to be our company culture. We believe there are 5 common characteristics to all highly successful people. And the great news is they're all learned skills. And we can get better at each of those every single day. And the better we are at each of those 5 common characteristics of highly successful people, the more successful we'll be. Whether that's being successful in the boardroom as a CEO, the best teacher in the world, the best parent in the world, the best pastor, it doesn't matter what it is. You can focus on improving in each of those 5 common characteristics, and you'll achieve far more that way, getting better at each of those than not.
I mean, you said a couple of things in there, going back again to your childhood. I mean, mine was a disaster as well. And I talk about that, and maybe that's one thing or one way that we connect it. And it's really interesting. I want to share a couple of years ago when I was moving from the East Coast to Los Angeles, as I was packing and doing things and getting ready, I fell and I broke my foot. I broke my left foot. So I was driving across country, and I had my mom with me and my dogs with me, but I always I want to be productive, and I thought, well, we should videotape this, and we should learn best practices. Or, what I ended up doing is I started scheduling meeting with other CEO executive women as I was driving across country. Now, so you can imagine stopping in these offices, leaving my mom in the dog's house. and trying to look professional and dressing in the car quickly as I do some of these interviews. And then I did some group interviews as well. But I interviewed 50 women. 49 of those women all came from a background of where there was that challenge, where, their comments of, I was on the other side of the tracks, there was physical abuse, there was sexual abuse, I lived down the street. And it inspired me even more, knowing that these women, just like you, found that they have this, positive mental attitude. They never stop learning. They had that self-motivation. And most times, some of them had tears in their eyes, and they said, I don't want this to be a therapy session, but like the one had said, she goes, I have not talked about this in years. No one has ever asked me about my background and who I am and where I came from. And then, here I come in, and I had asked everybody that same question: what was your background that got you to where you are today? So it was really, it's inspiring. It's motivation to help other women, because like you said, there are so many men and women that had, that rough background, that rough childhood, that they're still living in that place of being a victim, and they haven't been able to move forward. They haven't been able to move past that. So it was really wonderful to hear you say that, because we are responsible for ourselves and how we're able to move forward. So you talked about the one thing that you do with the hall of quotes. So what do you do for yourself? Again, that self-motivation, is that all it is? It's the quotes, it's staying positive, it's being around positive people. Is there anything else that you could add to that?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into taking care of oneself, and part of that is taking care of one's body. I think it's important to exercise and to eat whole, fresh food, not to eat processed food. I take more supplements than you could believe. I jokingly say that I'd work to keep the supplement industry in business, but I'm really big on making sure that my body is healthy by eating whole food, not processed food. I live a low carbohydrate lifestyle. Protein and vegetables is primarily what I eat. Then I supplement with vitamins. So I think get exercise. So I think part of it is taking care of your body, because if you are unhealthy,
Right.
if you don't exercise and you're eating junk food and processed food every day, there's no way to have your spirit be healthy if your body is weak and unhealthy. Right. So I think part of it is taking care of yourself from a physical standpoint, and part of it is taking care of yourself from a spiritual standpoint. But, I think that sometimes when people look at successful people like you and me, they say, oh, that was easy for them. That just comes easy to Connie. It comes easy to Catherine. They're smart. They're well-spoken. They're articulate. They're powerful public speakers. Well, all that stuff is work, right? You don't become a powerful public speaker just by accident. You work on your craft every single day. You don't become articulate by accident. You work on improving your vocabulary and your ability to communicate. All of that is work. And I think that it's very empowering when we finally say in front of a group, and which is what when they asked me to be on Undercover Boss, I said, if and only if we can talk about my abusive alcoholic upbringing, and that how I believe each and every one of us can move past that, move out of a victimhood and be successful, and talk about the 5 common characteristics of highly successful people. Only then will I do it. Because I think it's too easy for folks to look at people like you and me and say, oh God, it just came easy to them. They didn't have to work hard. The reality is you and I both work really hard. It is not uncommon for me to work 65 hours a week, every single week, to work on vacation, to work on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, that's just what we do to achieve what we achieve. But other people who are victims might look at us and say, oh, it comes so easy to Connie and it comes so easy to Catherine. They don't have to work hard. That's not the case at all. What's great about this country is anybody that works hard can be successful.
Yes.
My housekeeper and I were talking yesterday, and she came from Mexico. She came in legally. She did her whole period of time. She became a citizen about 3 years ago. And she said, I wanted to come to this country because I knew if I worked hard, I could make a good way for myself and my family. And I still believe that to be true today.
Yes.
But it takes that hard work and that commitment and that dedication and making smart decisions, right? I mean,
Yes.
I think we all need to work on making smart decisions every day. I could go out to Las Vegas and gamble all my money away, but that wouldn't be a smart decision.
That wouldn't be a smart
Would
decision.
not be a smart
And
decision.
it always comes back to that. And again, the decision that you make today is going to affect you tomorrow, next week, next year. So you have to think about that. But going back to working on yourself, and you'll probably laugh, but sometimes the smallest things would get me. And again, like having to work through it. I remember when I was working back at Axel Salt years ago, and I was, representing the community, and that's what I did. And I had to go for the very first time to the country club. I was shaking to enter and walk through that doorway of that country club because I thought I was never here. I was never allowed to come here. I never thought in a million years that I would be walking into the country club. And I told somebody that they kind of looked at me like, what? And I said, you don't understand where I come from. This never would have happened. So and again, working on yourself, and it's working through some of those issues. And again, not feeling that victim, but taking that step forward and walking through that doorway, because you never know what's going to be there on the other side for you.
And if I could add something to that, I think it's our nature by women, as our nature as women, to always focus on our shortcomings. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough. I've never done that before. I don't think men suffer from this at all. I think if a man for his first time is walking through the country club doors, he thinks, this is cool. I'm walking through the country club door, right? So, I mean, think about the first time I did live television was on Fox Business. I'd never done it before. I was terrified. And a good friend of mine was on the phone as I was driving to the studio, who's saying, Catherine, my God. And this is a man. You give keynote speeches all the time. You've spoken in front of 4,000 people, got a standing ovation. You're freaking out about, 7 minutes live on Fox Business. Just be yourself. Right. He was thinking like a man thinks. I was thinking like a woman thinks. And I had to get my head wrapped around that. So I've kind of come to believe that we all have things that we're going to encounter in our careers, and sometimes it's best just to fake it. Just go in there acting like you know what you're doing, acting competent, fake it a little bit, and when you don't know the answer, say, I'll get back to you on that. Yes. Make a note and then get back to them, right?
Right. Don't make it up.
Right.
Just
sometimes you act confident, you fake it, and then you get back to them with the answer if you don't have it, as opposed to us always as women being worried that we're not good enough.
And I think that is normal human nature, regardless of where we come from or what our background is. We still have that we're not good enough, and that's where we are our own enemy, because we do that. And I even have this exercise myself if I'm going into a new situation and I'm feeling uneasy about it, and I'll actually say to myself, okay, how would a man look at this? And it completely turns my thinking around for that, and I walk in there with confidence and and do what it is that I have to do. And same thing when the first time I was on television, same thing. I thought I saw my assistant was with me at the time. I'm like, have a bucket close by because I think I'm going to be sick.
I love that idea. How would a man approach this? I think I'm going to try that in the future. I'm also a big believer in positive affirmations.
Yes.
So, depending on the situation, if I'm feeling angst about something, and let's say that it's a keynote speech in front of 10,000 people, I'm going to be saying to myself, I'm amazing. I've captivated the room. I am a powerful speaker. Power emanates from every cell in my body. I own this audience. I'm amazing. I'm competent. I'm the best there is. And I'm actually saying that to myself. It could be my inside voice or it could be my outside voice. It doesn't matter. It's just effective if it's inside voice.
Yes.
The voice we listen to the most is our own. And the most important thing we need to learn is to never say anything negative to ourselves about ourselves, right? We shouldn't say things like, I'm not good with names. No, we should say, I'm great with names. I'm getting better every day at remembering names. It's all part of that positive affirmation, as opposed to getting stuck in this negative spiral of negative programming, right? The mind is going to try to fulfill what our subconscious believes. And if we're telling our subconscious, I'm not a good speaker, I'm not good with names, I'm not good on television, I'm not good on radio, I'm not a good CEO, I'm not good enough, that's going to manifest itself. But if we are programming our subconscious with all those positive things, I'm a great CEO, I'm getting better every day, I'm a great public speaker, I'm getting better every day, that's going to manifest itself. I truly believe this. I practice this all the time.
Oh, and it does. I don't have a hall, but I have a room full of quotes here. And again, different things from Zig Ziglar or Tony Robbins or my own. And I have them here, but I love it. I even, you said when you're speaking, you have these affirmations. I have them right on top of my notes. It always starts my first page. So as I'm practicing my keynote, I also see those affirmations throughout too.
Awesome. That's a great idea.
I keep them for myself. And me and some other speakers were talking in the mastermind group that I'm in with both men and female. And we just got, joking around. And we said, well, what do you do before you speak? And it was really interesting to hear the different perspectives of what people do before they speak. Like the one guy, we all work out. I think if you're successful and if you're, running and doing things, everybody works out. Everybody wants to be healthy. So we're all eating healthy and we're doing that. So one of the guy in the group, he's like, I go in the gym and I pump iron. He goes, I do some push-ups and I'm talking to my I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. And then that's what he said. Well, I'm in the bathroom doing my affirmations or talking in the mirror. But it was really interesting to hear how everybody did a different way, but it was still that inspiration. It was still that motivation to get them pumped up that they were going to go out there and they were going to do a fantastic, fantastic, awesome job. So I do need to take a break there. We do need to take a really quick break for another sponsor. We'll be right back.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for more qualified leads? Podcasting is a great way to do that.
The podcast you're listening to right now is produced by Turnkey Podcasts, and we can do the same for you.
Over 100 million people listen to podcasts every month. 85% listen to the entire episode. Interview-based selling is 10 times more effective than traditional marketing campaigns.
Step into the new media space and let podcasting be your marketing, business development, and lead generation tool. Turnkey Podcast can take you from concept to launch. Instead of taking months, we can help you get there in as little as 30 days. After the launch, we do all of your editing, production, voiceover guide, royalty-free music. The bottom line is we're going to help you generate more qualified leads using podcasting. If you have a podcast already, we can show you how to better monetize it.
Go to turnkeypodcast.com/contact for a free consultation to learn more. turnkeypodcast.com. You need more qualified leads for your business. Let us help you find them.
And we're back, and you're listening to WCONNIE. And joining us today is Catherine Monson, who is the CEO of FASTSIGNS International. And I am so enjoying our conversation, but I did want to let everyone know that I've been receiving loads and loads of messages recently from people asking for a copy of my Be Unstoppable Freedom Journal. Now, the journal is normally provided only to my coaching clients, my mentor clients, but I want to give it to you. I want all of my listeners to get a copy. So I've ordered 2,000 copies from my publisher that I have here on pallets. And my husband keeps saying, when are we getting these out of storage? So this is what I'm doing. I am giving them away to you for free, to all of my listeners for free. Okay, so stay tuned. We have one more segment with Catherine, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you how to get your free copy. So hang in there. So we're back and we're talking with Catherine again, the CEO of FASTSIGNS. And Catherine, this is the segment where we put you in the hot seat. Talking a little bit about quotes and different things, but I'm going to ask you a few more questions about the business if you want to share, and let everybody know what's going on with FASTSIGNS. I've worked with FASTSIGNS for even before I started my own business. When I was at the U.S. Chamber and Girl Scouts, I was always using FASTSIGNS. So is there anything new with the company that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, first I want to say thank you for your business all those years. I appreciate that very, very much.
I've been a fan for a long time.
Well, thank you. So FASTSIGNS is the leading signage and visual graphics franchisor. We have over 660 locations in 89 countries. Lots of exciting stuff. Our franchisees can take care of our locations, if you will. All of our locations are franchisee owned. So each of those is a local independent business owned by a local business person. And they can help any of your listeners with any kind of signage, visual graphics, vehicle graphics, custom wallpaper, putting together any kind of visual culture that you want in your organization. So they can do that whether we're talking about big electrical letters up 10 floors or 100 stories in the air, or just something small and local, or window graphics, wall graphics, trade show booths, they do it all. We're very big now.
Fast.
Yes, and we are fast. And we're very big on new technology. And so as you've probably seen digital billboards as you've driven around certain cities, our franchisees are ready, willing, and very capable of putting together digital signage, whether it's interior or exterior, for your listeners. The great thing about digital signage is you can change the content based on the day part. For example, if you're a store in a mall, early in the morning, it might be seniors walking to get their exercise, but not be into the cold climate or the too much heat if you were in like Dallas, Texas right now, where it's going to be over 100 today. So then the programming on your digital sign could be things that appeal to them. And then in the middle of the day, it's going to be moms with their kids going through. And
that's interesting.
You can change the content. And in the afternoon, it's going to be teenagers that are going to the mall to have some fun after school. And then in the evening, it's going to be the full family. So the great thing about digital signage is you can, if you will, day part or modify the content. And so all of our franchisees are expert in that. We're also very knowledgeable at taking static signage and putting something like a QR code or augmented reality in it so that it takes you onto the online world. So our franchisees are very innovative that way. And they have fun what they're doing and take good care of their local customers every single day.
Well, I definitely do. And I'll give a plug for her. Her name is Michelle. She's in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
I know Michelle.
Okay. Well, I've worked with Michelle for years. Even then I moved out to the West Coast. I've still ordered signs from her because they really cater to your needs and what you do. Like I said, when I was at the chamber, I was with Michelle. When I went to Girl Scouts, I still went back to Michelle, and I'm still with Michelle. But the thing that I found really, why I really like it, and of course, Michelle's just a really nice person, they are fast. And as business owners, we tend to call at the last minute. So advice, give them enough time to create something, to create that sign. But Michelle and her team, they were always wonderful. They always got the job done for me. So that's my little plug for Michelle. So,
well, I have visited her location. I'm on a vision quest to visit all 660 locations. I'm at about 450 right now. And if you saw me turn away, I made a note because I'm going to send her a little note and thank her for taking such good care of you.
Yeah, tell her say hi. I'm actually going to be heading back out that way with Jeffrey Hazlett in early October.
Fun. Hanging out with Jeffrey is always fun.
Oh, yeah. Always fun. So I'm dragging him out of New York City. We're going to Wilkes-Barre to do a Hero Club event. So that's going to be really fun and exciting. And talk about nervous. I was like, they're calling me back. They're like, no, you need to come here. You need to come back and talk about your women's group. And I actually said to my husband over the weekend, I said, I'll probably be nervous going back there because, it's been a couple of years, but it's going to be really nice to go back. It'll be like a reunion. So I'm excited for that. And Michelle's on my list to invite her to our lunch.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So that's really cool. So we talked about quotes and that you like quotes and affirmation. Do you have a specific one, a favorite one?
Well, one that I go to a lot is a diamond is a piece of coal that took stress really well. So there are days as a CEO where there's a lot of stress.
Yes.
And a natural inclination when under stress would be to be irritable, bitchy, curt, short, right? Yeah. And what I remind myself is that a diamond is a piece of coal that took stress well, and I want to be a diamond. So that is one of my absolute favorites. And then another is from Yoda, the Jedi Master from the Star Wars films, which is do or do not. There is no try. So when someone says, I'll try to do that, I'll say, hey, either do or do not. There is no try. I mean, you either make a decision you're going to do something or make a decision not to. So like one of the basics that works really, really well to help our Fast Signs businesses work best is to have a daily production meeting. Every day, 15 minutes, everybody standing around the production table saying, here's what's in-house, here's what we expect to come in, here are the priorities. Right. And when a franchisee is having issues, I'll say, do you do your daily production meeting? And said, we really try to, but
Yeah,
Do it very often. No. Listen to Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. There's outside of, a hurricane or a flood or a fire, there's no reason not to have your daily production meeting. It's 15 minutes at 7:45 in the morning, right?
That's right.
Not that
It's
hard
a
to
quick
do.
stand-up meeting. We used to do that too when I was at Girl Scouts, and we also had the Yoda sign around. That's why I was smiling. So there was never try, and there was never a problem. We had a situation.
Oh,
And there
excellent.
was
I like
never a
that as well.
situation you can't overcome.
Right. And it's not a problem. It's a challenge, right?
And that's right.
We face them every day.
Right? You're facing every single day.
I guess I just learned that I'm more happy when I have a positive outlook, right? I'm more happy and fulfilled when I have a positive attitude.
That's right.
I am down and negative and unhappy as a person, me, myself, when I have a bad attitude. So as much as it is about being a good leader, it's also about being a happy person. It's a decision. I have a sister right now who is battling high-risk, aggressive multiple myeloma. Her cancer doctor said to her at her last visit, and they're trying to help him with his bedside manner. He said, "I'm really surprised you're still alive." What a negative thing to say. I'm really surprised you're still alive. I didn't expect you to be here this long.
Right.
Every day, Natalie says, it's my job to have a positive attitude. If I wanted to go cry because I'm dying of multiple myeloma, aggressive, high risk, I could do that.
Right.
But why? Because all that does is hurt me. Yes, and the people around me. But wouldn't it be better if I have a positive attitude? And I see that in my sister. So, my God, if what is it that I could be negative about? I'm not dating an interesting man. I mean, these are things that you can't let this stuff bother you. You just got to choose to have a positive attitude and find things in your life to be thankful and grateful for. And by the way, I made a note that I want to get a copy of your Be Unstoppable journal. If you saw me turn away when you were talking.
Okay.
I want to get one of those too, because I'm always looking for ways to make myself better.
Not a problem. We will get that. And the journal is full of, it's I forget exactly how many pages it is now, but I know there's three elements to it. One element is an action plan. And an action plan where, what's your daily action plan? What's your month? What does your year look like? And it takes you through everything from health, your financial situation, to your career. I mean, there's several elements to it. And then the second part of it is really understanding who you are as a person, and going back to what you and I talked about earlier. We all have a backstory. We all have come from somewhere. But it's extremely healthy when you research that, investigate that, understand that. And I'm sure you've talked about it too, the iceberg that, 80% of us lie under the water, the iceberg. And when we're able to understand that and who we are, and maybe we don't like, our past, our family before us, but they are who they are. And the best thing to do is to bring that forward, recognize and understand your patterns and why you behave the way that you do. For example, I was really, really bad with relationships. I mean, horrible with relationships. But, I also had child abuse. I also had sexual abuse. I found out about 6 years ago I was adopted, and I was raised by this other woman. So there's a lot of elements in my life that I never understood. So when I was able to finally understand the full picture and who I am, for example, Loretta Lynn is my cousin.
Wow.
Minnie Pearl is my cousin. One from mom's side, one from dad's side. And my grandfather, he created the McDonald's Golden Arches. And so he created the first arches. So I have his journal. I have his journal when he was in the nursing home, and he sketched all of the neon signs that he's created, his life. And he also had a book of how-tos and different things himself. And he left the family when my mom was 13. He had left the family to go off because they were from the Appalachian Mountains, Louisville, Kentucky area, and they're really poor. So when I started understanding that and understanding my patterns and why I didn't and couldn't have a relationship with a guy, it really brought me full circle and helped me understand that. So the journal I put in there of, why it's really important to understand your back and do some of that Sankofa and, part of your family history. And then the third element is, now taking you forward, and it's building out what does your business model look like? What does your life look like? All the way to building a business plan, as an entrepreneur leader. So, and again, this is a tool that I use a lot for my coaching clients, even executive coaches. I use the action plan for them quite a bit. So, everybody's asking for it because it's out there now. So I will definitely get you a copy of that. And as you could tell, I really get excited about it.
And it sounds wonderful. I'm excited about getting it.
So yes, we will definitely make sure I'll send you an electronic copy today, but we'll get you a hard copy out to you really soon. So let our listeners know how they can learn more about Catherine Monson, about Fast Signs, and where should they go?
Well, if they want to learn about Fast Signs, go to FASTSIGNS, FASTSIGNS.com. If they want to watch Undercover Boss, I think it's on Netflix. Just look for the Fast Signs episode of Undercover Boss, and then they can let me know if I look better as a blonde CEO or a goth rocker chick. Those are the two personas you're going to see in that Undercover Boss episode. And then if you just Google Catherine Monson. There's a lot out there that I've written and a lot of different speeches I've given, and a very interesting article from just a couple months ago from Forbes.com that gives some interesting insight into what I think makes me tick. So that would be the way to get to know about me and about Fast Signs.
Incredible. And I looked at some of them, and of course I looked at your Undercover Boss segment. So, and I think I seen that. I watched that when it first came out a couple of years ago.
First came out in the first time it ran was May of 2012. And what was so fun is we filmed my transformation going from the CEO to the goth rocker chick actually in my hair salon where I get this hair done. And once the episode was announced, then we had counter cards made out of Fast Signs. With a picture of me as the goth rocker chick and a picture of me as the blonde CEO. And James, who's the salon owner, asked everybody, like, how do you like her better? And like 85%, 90% liked me better as a brunette. And I spend money every 4 weeks to be blonde.
To get this, right?
And I've got it wrong because people think I look better as a brunette, but I'm still going to stay a blonde at least for another few more years. But it was.
Who was the producer? Was that Damon at the time?
Oh God, I can't believe that I'm blanking out on this name right now. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Because he and I are going to be doing some work together. That's why I was curious.
He was like season 1 and I was in season 3.
Okay.
I've had a chance to stay in touch with him a little bit because he first reached out to me when we were thinking about season 1, and then that just didn't work out, and so season 2 was somebody else.
Okay. So yeah, we've connected, and so that's really cool. That's really cool. Well, that's all I got for today. We've definitely
so much fun. Thank you, Bonnie, for inviting me.
I love it. Thanks for being here. And again, to our listeners, to get a copy of the Freedom Journal, it's the Be Unstoppable Together Freedom Journal. All you have to do is send me an email, the team Fife at fifegroup.com, and Fife again is PHEIFF. That's 5. Now, again, it normally retails for $97. I ordered 2,000 copies. I have them here in my storage, and you are getting it for free. All I'm asking is that you do pay for the shipping to help us out there. But otherwise, send me an email, team5 at fifegroup.com. Put in a subject line, Freedom Journal, and I'm going to send you out a personalized autographed copy. We'll get that right on and mail to you. So make sure you send me that email today. It's been great being here with you today with a beautiful, beautiful guest, Catherine Monson, CEO of Fast Signs. Incredible, inspirational, motivational woman. You want to learn more about her. Thanks for listening to Up or Out with Connie. I'm Connie Fife, and until next time, be bold, be connected, and be unstoppable together.